Wow, Fnatic, they are on the board after that Haven against the DRX. I'm your host, Yingsu, and I'm back here with Mimi and Bren. It was very, very close at the half, but Bren, with the side switch, it was just all Fnatic.
Yeah, they needed that. They really did. I mean, after a 13-1 flattening in the first map, you know, they've never quite been tested like that before, except in the lock-in finals. And yeah, I mean, they managed to bring it back mentally, which you would expect from a team like Fnatic. And I think this is real good signs of life for them as well. Haven, it has been a shaky map for them. It's still a reasonable map for them. You saw why right there and then.
And we even saw struggles in the first half. Durka started off only getting 1 kill the entire first half, but Fnatic still really rallied back in that one. In the second half, I think they were showcasing why they're always so good on this map, giving us some of those set plays that define this team, some of those aggressive mid pushes, setting Durka up really well. It felt like for the first time this series, Fnatic was the team in control of the pace.
I mean, we didn't see any of that on Bind, Mimi. We know they could do all these like quirky set plays, the nerdy stuff, but it just felt like they didn't have anything prepped.
And where Bind, you know, Alfajer was picking out the chamber and he was getting caught out pretty much. I think he was 1 of 3, I believe, on the first kills, the first test. This time he was catching the Zesslux a ton on the defensive side. He was really pivotal in terms of them shutting down all the options that the DRX were going for on our attack side, slower defaults.
Yeah, there's one round I feel like summed up how this second half went, which was, of course, round 17. Mimi, we've seen them do this before and they brought it out again.
Yeah, it's a great strategy, right? You expect your opponent to go towards an A exec or just an A default, and you set up to early on use this Killjoy ultimate to push your opponent into players that are already set flanking. The util they use to follow this one up is excellent with an aftershock, a suck coming through. It's just really well executed. And understanding when your opponent's going to go A, when you have an opportunity to implement these set plays, and when to go back to slow things down, to play your default, is I think what makes Fnatic so good on this map and what makes Boaster's defensive calling always so stellar here.
Yeah, counter evidence to the it's an FPS game narrative as well. When you see that, you think you're playing a different game. You get caught in that. You saw Stax' POV. He didn't know where to run or hide. There was a stun, there was a pull, there was the aftershock, just everything being loaded into them there as well, just being perfectly pushed into the right positions. Yeah, world-class round from Fnatic and what they needed to really get them back into this.
Yeah, 8-8 as well. That kind of snowballed in the end into them having a win, but also in the first half, Leo returning to prime form. Leo here in the Verizon high-speed moment of the match. I didn't think he was going to win this, but Bren, it was my fault for doubting him.
Yeah, Leo, you know, he's been missing ever so slightly, but my God, has he been consistent at moments in this Haven map. And this one here was just ridiculous. I mean, do not give this guy opportunities to clutch it up at all. He didn't really need to in this round here, but we did see instances where he was clutching it up in a 1v2. But yeah, rock solid in terms of the form. I mean, I've been loving everything I've been seeing from this guy.
Yeah, and I think these were the 2 rounds that were really the catalyst of their respective half. In the second half, it was that great set play. Here it was this Leo clutch that I think really reinvigorated Fnatic, and that's normally what we see from them. This is a super team. Everyone was picking out their top 20 players, and for most people, 4 of them in the top 5 were Fnatic players, and that's for a reason, and we're seeing that reason in this second map.
I mean, Brent, for you, it was 3 out of the 5, so we won't talk about that too much. We won't talk about that. Yeah. But let's talk about map 3 here, because we are going to go to Split. Honestly, I felt like Fnatic probably should have picked Split to start with if Lotus isn't up there for them, because the last time we saw them play, they looked really solid.
Yeah, either Lotus or Fracture just decided to go into that one, but it was banned in the second round for Fracture, so Split is the decider. DRX need to, I think, focus as well on removing Alfajer's utility. If they're playing the default Cypher comp, they love to play that. It gets them so much good information. Boaster is given the entire world to play with, essentially, in terms of information off of it, and it's really crucial, I think, when teams go up against that comp that they break that utility so they just don't give the options over to a team like Fnatic, because they are going to just run all over you. They are so good at this map right here. I still think there's opportunities for DRX to win it, but now we're getting into territory where it is getting more and more favor for Fnatic.
One of the biggest issues against this comp as well, besides just the information the Cypher gives for that mid-round defensive calling that we were already talking about being stellar on Haven, is also the trap plays. Fnatic is so good at setting those up, enabling Durka to get tons of value out of his nade on this map. And if DRX are doing what they did towards the end of Haven, where they're just going for these hard executes, 1 stage instead of 2, and just getting ran down by utility, which is kind of the issue that cropped up for DRX when they were looking worse earlier in this tournament, that's where I start to get worried. There's always this gap between the teams that can play play the top dogs close. You can take a map, you can find an upset here and there, but if you can't close out the series, if you still go home only in the top 6, none of that matters.
Yeah, and we've seen evidence of that. I mean, DRX have been in this position where they've had their backs up against the wall. Last year, they were able to break through and make that top 4 spot. This time, things are a little bit different because the Fnatic they're up against is a different beast entirely. They literally pushed Fnatic into the direction where they reformed this super team for this year, and now they have to go up against them again. It is really, I mean, just historic and history waiting to happen. Well,
we're about to go into the Prime Gaming Agent Select once again here. Fnatic, they're going to be starting again on the attack side. And Mimi, I like to see them go a little bit faster here and not have such a slow half.
Yeah, I think they do have that momentum coming from map number 2 and always feel confident in this composition. Alfajer is great at holding down the extremities, and while the trap plays on the defense are good, on the attacking side as well, Fnatic has a lot of great setups to enable Durka. DRX, though, this is a map where I think they are solid with this Viper Omen composition. You get a lot of value out of your side anchors in Zest and Mako, and we already saw what Buzz could achieve in that second map.
Yeah, it all just depends on how well prepped they are for this as well. I think it comes down to the individual form, actually, as well, for players like Zest. He kind of fell off a little bit with the second half of Haven, and normally he's been that heavy hitter for them. He's going to be so important as well. The Viper this entire tournament for Zest has been amazing and fantastic, but everybody needs to step up now. This is it. Your back's up against the wall. It is the elimination. You're up against Fnatic, and this is the time to shine and prove that you deserve a spot in that top 4.
DRX have had so many moments where they're close to greatness, where they almost break through, almost make a run for themselves, for their region. They've been together for so long, but there's only one spot left at the Kiev Forum. They've gotten this series close, but at the end of the day, it is Fnatic, and the thing they are best at is rallying in these series, and they have a chance to do it again.
Well, this last map determines who will be moving on to face Loud this Thursday at the Kiev Forum. One more time, here's Pansy and Hypok with a cast.
Thank you, Sue, and yeah, this is now the end of the line for one of these two, taking the series the whole distance. So we get to map 3, Mike, we get split. Where's your mind going?
Honestly, it's really hard to call. The response on Haven from Fnatic felt more in character, right? More in terms of in line with expectations, but with what DRX showed us on Bind, makes me feel like there might be some sort of adjustment here. Especially now, if you have the opportunity, you come away from a map lost now and really kind of look internally and ask what worked for us on Bind. Why was this such an uphill struggle on Haven? If there is anything that they can switch up here, for me, it rides around Buzz and Stacks here on Split to be the ones to set DRX to cause a massive upset.
Marco, run, boy, run. They are on your heels. And actually, Dirk is the one who finds Buzz first, but the response is quick. DRX get 2, 3 back on the board. And now looking at what remains, we've got Chronicle, last one alive, who's putting up a damn good fight. Gets the upgrade to the Ghost and now has a big opportunity to maybe divide and conquer. But look at... Oh wait, Stack's just got spotted as well. Has another go of it. Stack gets it. Chronicle could not make it away in time, and DRX gets a round found.
Fnatic desperate to try and pin Marco down, create an opening, create an advantage very early on in the pistol round. Just can't get it done with the fault line going through. A beautiful response with a snake bite from Zest. The paint shell coming through from Buzz as well. Just to hold them in the choke point. We'll try and, well, at least set a few bodies to set up outside A. Well, the camera, not sure how much it's going to spot. Will spot towards Heaven.
My camera is
Stacks
destroyed.
will deal with it.
RB's response so far, trying to do some chip damage on the cross, but they've managed to make it through unscathed. Beyond that, the mid-pressure's starting to build. Buzz. Gonna be hurt on this.
Gotta be careful. Chronicle does have a Sheriff. Zest. Decapitated in vents.
Well, that's opened up a big chance. Could isolate these two players on A, keep the likes of Marco and Buzz further back. Big little hill for Chronicle. That pressure sign him out, but where did Fnatic take this?
Stacks, did he get stunned there?
It looked like he did for a second. You could still see a little bit. Pop flashes Wonderful. Judge couldn't quite get to hand fast enough as Durka gonna find him. And the 3 now under pressure. You can see them deep held here, 2 towards CT, and Buzz's position is one that is worth noting.
Yeah, he's gonna hear this as well. Spike not committed either direction just yet. Leo
30 seconds left.
cautious in approach here. Fnatic want to try and find information on another player or two on the side of DRX, especially with some time allowed here for a rotation, but staying up towards A site here. RB will be tested.
The one factor, I guess, is he does have a Bulldog, a little bit of stall with his kit, but time.
10 seconds
They're
left.
down at 8 seconds here. They've left this so damn late, and Boaster's been punished. The next could follow up, and it does. Can he deny the plant? No! Kept safe by Durka. They get the spike down.
Problem being as well, Leo's still got this judge. Dirk has now found himself an upgrade towards the Bulldog. Does have the paint shell as well. But Elbow's going to be locked down by Leo.
The paint shell's towards the back of screen, so they're not going to get the freedom towards it. Hard to clear now. Paint shell back, and Buzz going to move forward. There's that judge, though, wildly in play. Buzz on the trade out, puts it down to a 1v1, but time is ticking. And Buzz got to find the fight, and he does! And he's got the time for this. They recover well after what was a pretty disastrous round.
A costly round. Added bonus on top for Fnatic, the 300 credits for the plant, and kills coming across. Some ultimate progress maybe for a few members. Yeah, Chronicle already building towards the Rolling Thunder. 3 away in an 0-2 scoreline. Definitely happy about that. It's another situation we saw. Stax just desperate to try and upgrade from the pistol and try and police that weapon.
A bit of a scramble on it, but I don't think we've seen enough from this yet to tell what DRX we're getting. Like if it's going to be that kind of aggressive one yet, or where I want to see how the dust settles a little more.
And especially not here as well, with
not
three
in these
pistols
rounds.
coming in, a Guardian and a Bulldog in the hands of Stax and Buzz. 3 people posted up pretty deep here. Trying to counter some presence outside A here. The Trailblazer spot out the stack.
You've got to turn the flash as well, but the smoke going to keep them without falling as they try and back away. DRX get to keep their life after what was a real attempt at that.
I think the expectation is maybe they find Alpha outside here. Poster will spot Zest. Adjustment here in terms of RB's utility. Positioned over towards B site. That's a lethal combo between him and Zest. In terms of the stall opportunities. 45 seconds, Fnatic don't really have any tangibles to act upon here. Slowly making their way towards splitting A.
I don't like how late they're leaving this. A couple of these rounds now, down to about that 30-second marker.
30 seconds
Going in blind,
left.
a re-smoke towards A main makes this tricky. They're going to have to disrespect it or go in front of it or just risk it. They have heavy control, yes, but they need to get towards the site. 20 seconds now. They need to make this work. Paranoia gets posted. Buzz going to take down Alpha. This is not good enough from Fnatic. A rare slip, maybe. 10 seconds, but look at the bodies from DRX. They have players on the site still. Marco being one of them, and this is a trap. Wait, no way. Oh, they line up.
There's no time.
Player standing.
You just got to play to the clock. RB just has to live. It's done.
Oh my god. When Marco starts whiffing there, I get seriously worried.
I was about to call it a masterclass, and he made an absolute meal of it. Look at it again. Look at this. Perfect play. Oh, no.
It's a Bulldog moment. I hate to see it. And then Chronicle's the one that dies behind
Always.
Marco, of course.
I just don't like how late they're leaving these rounds, Mike.
Fnatic, they let this round pass them by. They had such a good position early on, 45 seconds. They were already collapsing towards this split.
Yeah. I don't know what the holdup was. I'm not sure if they're trying to maybe pause for some of that aggression to come in, maybe try and catch that, but again, hard to preempt it. And now punished on it. They're going to get a buy back, but it will be missing. Depending on the ult maybe here. Boaster in with him, but they've evacuated the site pretty handily, but they didn't find RB. How did RB get away with just staying there the whole time? Buzz still standing. Boaster gets cleared. Does do damage though. Down to a 3v3. A scrappy, brawly round.
Alpha not necessarily played in just yet. Zest playing just on the back of this wall. You have to pop it up, maybe on the back of some contact. A minute left for Fnatic to work with, but you don't want to see the same mistake again.
No. Okay, so they're going to leave Alpha here, rotate the rest around towards B.
When did DRX realize that?
Well,
I mean, do they actively clear ahead of this?
well, Fnatic have been playing that very slow style, so they're not going to be early on it, I feel. They're going to have to wait out and respect this, and if Alpha makes a step or something, kind of reaffirms a little bit of that doubt.
I think Zest is considering the rotation now.
Yeah, this
Marco
time
too.
30 seconds
There's
left.
enough there. Now, could there be a backstab? Sure. But again, this is very indicative of it. So now how much value does Alpha get?
Buzz did take a glance
He
back
looked.
towards Heaven, yeah.
He had a little look on that,
Spike.
but it's Alpha's turn. He's so close. 3. Oh!
Zest
turned. That terrifies me. Zest had a look behind him, but now there's another target, and Alpha is punishing all of them. Marco can no longer survive. Fnatic gets on the board.
Beautiful recovery from Fnatic. They're making use of the time early on here, leaving Alpha up in a deadly position to backstab. The rotation towards B site.
Kira penny dropping it.
3-1 now to start things off on the decider. DRX actually left licking their wounds in terms of the finances, actually.
Yeah, how are they so skint? Some of these rounds have been pretty back and forth.
Yeah.
And Marco, up to mischief. Got real close to that. Buzz not going to get away with any sort of naughtiness now. Good get here though. There are other players, but he's got some more coming around. They don't want to make any sort of mistakes, and they don't. So Fnatic really just making sure they're crossing all the T's, dotting the I's.
Really quick response as well to get Leo some support, just in case there was further aggression.
Last player standing.
Speaking of that, Stacks
Recalling my bot.
will be found, punished. Stinger from this range.
Flawless.
Never looks pretty
No.
when you try. Second on the board for Fnatic, but throwaway round, a Prime Gaming flawless nonetheless.
Good to see them concise though. Diligent. Clear cut. I say. Cross those T's, dot the I's. No funny business here. That's their second now. Consecutive. Can they make it a third? Any big ults coming through? I mean,
Seekers are here. They're one away from the pit for Zest. 2 off the lockdown for RB. On the other side of things, Neural Theft in the TP. Not necessarily playmakers, but certainly 2 big opportunities to find some information across the map.
we're winning out this early fight. This time Marco deciding against it.
Shadows traveling.
And that pressure is going to be insurmountable. Can he slow it down? Paranoia should dissuade at least a quick close down for Durka. Slows him at least towards Pillar, and the support's there, so we look towards the lurk. What can Alpha achieve?
Alpha took a shot, because we noted here very early on. DRX actively try and clear him here. They prioritize sight.
Durka trying to get back around to be supportive, but he's been stunned. Almost gets caught up. Buzz dives in, takes out Chronicle. Big find out from the trader, and now we're down to the 4v4. Durka took a lot of damage, but he's trying to get back on his feet here. Stacks to clear out Poster. Now look at the back line. That pain shell has to be pivotal. Going to be posted now as Zest going to back away. Couldn't get it to half now.
Alpha's actually re-lurked back towards Heaven.
The
There's no way
reflag.
DRX read this.
Not a chance in hell. And once again, those backlines are being determined by Alpha. Always present, always a problem.
One
The pop
enemy
flash
remaining.
to boot. It's perfect from Fnatic.
So proactive in the post plant here. Alpha even finds a kill from B main, by the way. So it's the perfect distraction. They note it in the kill feed. They know where the spams come from. Immediately rotating back towards mid. Tie things up 3 apiece here. DRX back down to pistols, maybe a couple
One
of
enemy
SMGs here and
remaining.
there. One for Buzz, maybe.
Love it.
We've seen a lot of Judge gameplay here.
We have. We'll return to
Good
it.
to see it back.
Ah, you missed it. Vocalize that for the people at home, please.
Actually, just going to be 2 stingers here for DRX. Zest and Marco.
Fully.
They're looking to follow through with the same
so
momentum
close.
here. Marco does catch the paranoia though. He's going to get 2!
Marco finding both. I thought Boaster had him dead. The near sight only. Surely Boaster could have seen him in that, but Marco, the success. Oh, come off it, Marco. The third
Spike
is
down
just
B.
feels almost unfair. As Alpha this time, no chance for that flank or that lurk. And this is one of an uncharacteristic round to turn around, but you take him when you get him. Leo and Alpha, 3 players on pillar, and a slow creep of a lurk, a buzz.
Spike down
Triple
B.
face.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
All right, Leo, show me something. Show me what you got. This just is slipped on over. No one's there.
Just making sure. There's a flank coming through here, but
30 seconds
RB going
left.
to be just holding for information. DRX very disciplined here in the hole.
Oh,
Flashed up, but still 96 HP to work with. 20 seconds left, though. Seeming inevitable here for DRX to find their 4th.
they're not giving. Yeah, the triple swing again. Mastercard, thrifty coming on through, but at the start of that, Mike, how's he gone away with that?
Yeah, because Marco Dadzi, he's recovering from throwing the paranoia here. Eats this. And the problem is, Marco's just running back and forth.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got the stinger he can do in that situation. The timing on the smoke dropping, swapping to the Phantom, punishing Chronicle. Sorry, that really caught me off guard.
Can we get that one again? Is there a chance? It's a Fnatic timeout. If I could get a run it back of Mini doing that. What do you think he was referring to in that? Or like, what do you think made that happen? Do you think it was the paranoia?
Yeah, that's the is that the hand signal for the...
Oh, do we get it again? Yeah. There it is. And crunch. Yeah, it's the paranoia.
Yeah, it's definitely. Or maybe one of their hand warm-ups from the
Oh, it could
stage.
be.
Yeah, yeah. It's got a little bit of cramp.
Oh, but being serious.
A tilt timeout coming through. Honestly,
feels
after
like
a
it.
round like that, Marco getting away with absolute murder.
Yeah. Quite surprised to see it. The first, I mean, you know, boast a tricky position to be in, sure. And as you said, kind of running back and forth, but the follow-up and then the drop in the smoke. Not feeling happy about that. And maybe just trying to get a little bit of a beat on what DRX we're seeing, because Fnatic look quite capable. They strung those 3 rounds together, but the breakback is here. I always look towards consistency in the rifle rounds, obviously, and we're yet to see that fully fall into place, but Purchase now going to be in a nice spot for DRX. They've got plenty of ults to play with as well. The lockdown there, the Viper's Pit.
Decent
lovely.
cushion behind this as well, and that's key. Same thing could be said for Fnatic as well, so not necessarily a concern on either side just yet. 3 over towards Sushi here, 4th outside B main. Proactive clearance here on the back of Stax' utility. Doesn't find a trip though outside. And there's no ping coming through, so I don't even think he noticed the deep trip. I think the flash just missed as well.
Yeah, it did.
Attempt to throw it over the top of A main. It maybe got stuck on the sign, but there'll be no confirmation of Alpha's presence. But still committing towards 3 members on A side.
The second flash went in. I don't know if it caught Alpha either, because he's very deep on this position. But where are Fnatic off to? We've got 50 seconds. They're re-exploring middle. They haven't really tested a site just yet. Yes, they could go through Heaven, but Zest will have stall. And he's got the Viper's Pit too, if he really wants to be a problem. Maybe try and draw it out a little early on here, but...
Zest can stall this with the snake
he
bite.
absolutely can. 35 seconds. I'm getting nervous here. You can already see the fallback as well coming in. Slipping a little bit deeper there. RB maybe preparing for that lockdown as well if he fancies that instead.
No snake bite from Zest, actually. Just allow safe passage. Maybe something built around the lockdown here in a retake.
So he seemed very aware of this quite early on because, again, RB slipped CT super early. 13 seconds, Plant going to come through.
10
No
seconds
lockdown.
left.
They should stay
Down for
committed
it.
here. I think just wait for everybody to come through.
Are they going to try and
It
fight?
will cut off backside, actually.
That's pretty nice. Yeah, so they can kind of filter through towards main, but that's it.
Problem is, it's open sight lines towards the spike. They have to dig out some of these Fnatic players from B main.
2 smokes still for Marco as well, so they can make it a little bit of a problem. 1 towards the site, and the Viper's Pit to go on top of this. Nabi's already got it towards halfway. Forced off, yes, but they've got a great deal of work done early. Fnatic need to fight on this, and there, finally, they start drawing blood. And this time it's a back and forth between all of them, and it's just a straight up stand and deliver, and Stax does. Diffuse denied! Leo, he lives! He gets to full all the way. It gets towards half, so back to business. Stags can't do it, Leo! Holding it together for Fnatic.
A really bizarre, if that's the intention, they have to dig Fnatic out of this comfortable, open sight line towards the site. Again, the Viper's Pit, you understand trying to block, but you even noted there were smokes available for Marco. I'm not sold by it. Maybe an adjustment here of Zest pushing a little further towards Pillar, investing the Viper's Pit towards that choke point and forcing Fnatic a little deeper, but for that to be the intention from the get-go, and it's solved entirely by an open plant by Fnatic. And the other thing was, because they were given a clean site, they didn't expend any utility. They had the paint shell, they had the aftershock, they had plenty of things to actually deal with that very scenario.
Yeah, lots of tools to be played in with. Leo. Checking through towards Mel, sees nothing towards Ben. So they got a bit of a green light towards middle if they want to explore it, but peeling away. Maybe considering their options, but the B site now is the additional player. Buzz is over here. 2 judges on this as well. One up towards heaven.
Flipping RB back over towards A site.
Buzz.
I mean, Chronicles one away from the Rolling Thunder as well.
The paranoid. Okay, smoke goes towards deep heaven. Flash is there. Buzz. He's given a chance on this. Marco, can he bait him in? The paranoia is great. Durka wins that fight, come off it. Marco's still going to make it work from the back of sight. He's got a small lifeline to play off of the TP taken. Marco, this man is a magician, reappears on the site and keeps going. Oh, I thought he had him as well. Chronicle bailing out Leo, but now the 2 rifles come on over and they found Alpha, and now there's issues. A 2v2 and no plant, and now look at Stags. Big pickup from Chronicle. And the 1v2 RB, that's not gonna happen. Leo is there, Chronicle there. It's keeping Fnatic breathing.
There's a moment there, Leo getting caught by the Rolling Thunder where Marco can potentially find a third once again in a round that he brings a stinger into. It was just so difficult to pin down.
God.
Perfect bait and switch here as well, with Zest dropping from rafters, but a crucial headshot. Stacks slightly overzealous, trying to punish the plant there.
Yeah.
Could potentially be anticipating a safe plant on default, but...
Sure. 4 to 5 though. These are strung together rounds now for Fnatic though. They are starting to come alive in these buy rounds, which is pretty important. Yes, DRX got that great start converting bonuses and all that good stuff, but still, once we've got into the real meat of this, it has been the Fnatic display. And they go again. Boaster played in off the back of the flash through the cage. That's lovely work. Trailblazing their way into the site. And it is a complete and utter shutdown. DRX sent back away from this.
Starting here. Blinding.
Find a clean plant here, Durka. Was in a position to get very, very
Spike dropped.
curious towards spawn already. I mean, it's no reason that Fnatic shouldn't hunt for these rifles as well. Apply further pressure onto the finances. Stacks and Zest at 850 and 950 respectively. But Fnatic firmly back in control. The home stretch of this half. Will actually be, on the brink of getting the showstopper and the Seekers available in the next. Buzz obviously one away from his. Have to wait and see exactly how the old progress lies elsewhere, but another pace change that with DRX constantly kind of flip-flop back and forth into 2 different setups. Caught off guard here. See, obviously we had options previously in the half. There's none actually in the form of ultimates, and no surprises to see a timeout being called here, because the last few rounds of, a couple of them come down to the wire, but the game plan seems a little off here from DRX on split. Let's see if they have a late response in this half, Lauren.
Yeah, I think we're starting to see a little bit of that realization set in. As much as you can come into map 1, play kind of fast and loose, have all that confidence, all that pressure starts to mount then to close out. You had a good chance in map 2, that slipped away. Now map 3, you're starting to feel all of those worries come back around. to try and play the playstyle from map 1 here, near on impossible now.
Sure, and in terms of, I guess, the outcome of some of these rounds, look at this series where Fnatic were able to actually excel in terms of recovery mode on Haven. Now where, you know, DRX don't have the benefit of, I guess, being the ones to really switch things up, throw off the early protocols of Fnatic. Now they're really struggling to formulate many plans, many set pieces to create advantages the same way they did on Bind. Saw elements of the same sort of gameplay on Haven as well.
What's the breaking point here for DRX? What can they do?
I mean, the concern is as well, with this composition, we know how Fnatic play on the defense. It's going to be very difficult for DRX to play into that. We've seen very few teams actually able to overcome the way that Fnatic defend Split. So if this scoreline deficit becomes any worse, it's definitely concerning. Marco, beautiful opener this time around though. Durka, dead off the rip.
Anyone willing to follow that up here? Looking like a mid walk. Stacks and Zest. Are we seeing them trying to rekindle some of this aggression? It looks like it is, but Leo sidestepped it. Oh, and the follow-up as well for Boaster. Reading that adjustment very clearly.
But still posted up, a rifle in hand. RB the only one with a frenzy. He's playing in a tricky spot. The discipline corner over on A site. But yeah, the re-aggress here from DRX. Anticipated perfectly by Fnatic.
And I wish we'd seen a little more of that earlier on, so it wasn't such an obvious read.
Okay, this is awkward. Seeker will highlight that. Boaster's actually not clearing Suez. Alpha
Alpha
to come across.
What is going on? This round's really bizarre. And Buzz gets a little bit of a shot at catching this. Oh my god, what is this round?
30 seconds left.
Plant now going to come down. Smoke goes in, and I'm looking towards if Marco plays ahead. He does. He's getting quite close to this because the paranoia got posted towards the back of the site, so he gets a little bit of a moment. Try and catch Chronicle, and he does. TP takes it. Buzz now, 30 HP, looks towards Alpha, tags him up as well. Now they're closing the gap, but Boaster straight through the smoke. Doing serious work here. Even with Leo low, Alpha still standing. Double swing happens. Marco, the magician again, pulling.
What?
Just a rabbit out of his hat, but it's still down to the 1v1. Can he find it for the ace? Can he find Boaster? Doesn't see him for the first. The second, Boaster's got him.
Oh my god.
Fnatic keep moving forward.
Marco just a constant threat in all of these rounds for DRX. I have no clue how he found that fourth.
I don't know.
The TP here,
Yeah.
ridiculous. Just
Caught a glimpse of
catches
Leo.
a glimpse of Leo. And Boaster with a crucial clutch.
Hey, we were highlighting how clutch Boaster was early in this tournament. Nice to see a little bit of that re-emerging here. Certainly could have done with it there. Keep that confidence from building. Keep DRX on the 4. Fnatic making it up to 7 here. 8 could be very possible.
Fnatic doubling down on this slower pace as well. Now 2 operators on the board.
What?
In the hands of Durka and Alfajer. I mean,
On
like
the
I said,
attacking side of Split.
They're investing into the same previous read, which is DRX feeling a little bit antsy. Waiting for the overstep. Although earlier on in the half we did have some concerns with the clock passing Fnatic by. We haven't seen that rear its head once again.
Marco is once again going to be asked to do so damn much if they carried on that way. Looks like they're adjusting though here, Mike. They're exploring the rest of the map a little. It's not going to just be Alpha here. Now you've got Leo trying to sell him something, right? It looks like a site hit. But there is only one player.
Yeah, the smoke of the Trailblazer is drawing Zest away. Buzz considering it as well. Does he post up on Mail though?
Oh.
He's got the showstopper here.
I'm still looking at the spike. It's in the hands of Chronicle.
Yeah, he's actually now looking to follow up on the fake because there's been no resistance.
It's drawn out the ult as well. 25 seconds here. Zest still in a good spot.
Watching this spot.
Still got RB down below. He's going to hear all these steps. Spike is on the way. Can RB hold? Can he be as valuable as he looks like he can be? Takes down Durka. Stacks for the follow-up. 13 seconds. Oh, RB holds him back and gives them a chance.
Brings it to a 7-5 on the half.
Respectable.
Switching
definitely a great recovery towards the end there for DRX after almost going blow for blow with Fnatic early on in that half.
This is a really close game. Just a glimpse back at this for RB, even getting checked on there. Yes, Durka had a look, but it wasn't enough. 5-7. Fnatic in the gun rounds had been meticulous, if I'm honest. They looked very, very solid. But Marco making magic happen. DRX still with a lifeline going forward.
Oh, this series is really delivering 7-5 at the half. But Brent, in the beginning of that half, it looked like DRX had it all figured out.
They really did. Pistol round win and a bonus win conversion as well. I mean, only really getting 2 rounds off the back of that as well. It was the Mako magical moments, really, that was being pulled out over and over again. But this is what made this half a bit more competitive. And I feel like we're going to have to see the exact same thing again getting into the second half, because it was entirely in the control of Fnatic when it comes to the gun rounds. Pansy was talking about that as well. It was from top to bottom, Fnatic in control as soon as they got those first 3 rounds out of the way.
They had really good mid-round decision-making throughout this map, I think, getting a lot of control in mid, and these late-round side executes, especially towards B, were excellent, contending with DRX's retakes consistently. But the thing is, because of this bonus round win, it's competitive, and DRX picking up those last few rounds towards the end of the half means that if they get another pistol round, they have a real chance of coming back into this for DRX.
Yeah, it could go even, and even a bit further beyond that as well. And I think that, you know, the conversation was being brought up about the attack side, I guess, for DRX now as we're heading into the second half. And I really do think that they have to put a focus, a premium on breaking Alfajer's camera setups, because Boaster loves to call off that information. The mid-rounding needs to be really, really good here from DRX if they want to stand a chance here at causing this upset and bringing down Fnatic the 2-time back-to-back.
On the attack side, this is where DRX crumbled on Haven, but they have an opportunity here to do something incredible. They could be the first team to knock Fnatic out of a tournament this year, and they could have another opportunity to repeat history, to go on a run deep into this tournament and find that last slot at the Kia Forum. If not, Fnatic is going to stay alive. They're going to do it again and have a chance to make it a three-peat.
Oh, I can't wait to see who's going to come out alive on the other side for the last time today. Pansy and Hypok, take it away.
5-7. It could be anyone's game, but Mike, I look at that streak right in the middle of things. Fnatic, when they came alive, those gun rounds suited them well. But, as the desk said, 1 pistol, and it can be back game on for DRX.
Absolutely, and definitely a more comfortable position here with the 7-5 conversion for DRX. Going to get this pistol. Themselves starting off here in the second half on the right foot. Early exploration towards mid. Nobody on the other side of this for Fnatic. Adjustment, actually. I often see Alpha positioned towards B site on the pistol rounds.
That's true. How interesting.
Maybe this is a little bit of a red herring because, you know, early on you want to see that protocol list of going and dealing with the utility, figuring out. Because the main objective playing versus Fnatic on split, particularly when they're defending, is to force an adjustment. Because they're so comfortable to sit back. Trailblazer dealt with it.
And I think camera too.
I mean, it drew Chronicle back for a moment, but Fnatic are very quickly in a position to greet this A site here once again.
Yeah. Seeing the kind of counter pendulum swing, right? It goes back around. The flash. Going to identify that someone has made progress towards ramp. The dog to really ensure in 35 seconds, DRX need to kind of get themselves together and get a bit of a move on. You got 4 players now. Chronicle just holding down Mouse 1, trying to do a bit of chip damage, trying to catch him on the way through. Wait, Durka walks in and gets to lose his life, but Fnatic follow it up. 3 quick kills. And Fnatic's in a huge advantage, and now just stacks with an army against him. And 3 bullets to be left into play with 15 seconds. This would be a monumental 1v3 for the young man. And he makes a damn good start at it. 1 flash, and Alpha's got him.
There's a chance there if he finds that kill. Leo down on 10 HP, but Fnatic post the pistol here in the second half.
Yeah, I'm really interested in the adjustment of Alpha's setup. Does he continue like this? Is it going to be a new back and forth sort of deal? Does he go back to what works? This is going to change the protocol list if they kept that in mind.
Yeah, I'm sure. Even conceding the pistol here, you do still want to see that awareness from DRX. They've done their homework and they have a plan formulated to really address the comfort that Fnatic have playing the Cypher. Because already round 2, this is literally carbon copy from what we see time and time again for Fnatic.
I mean, roll your mind back to that EG matchup where it all looked kind of exciting, grand final, and then you get split. Like, you're still not dealing with the setup, you're not going to get away with anything. Alpha is probably one of the big aspects of this map that sits very well for Fnatic.
We talked about this constantly throughout the regular season as well. Looking for the utility, but see, we know it's not here. Buzz back down to 23. Of course, a little deeper with the fault line as well. Only a frenzy coming in here. DRX in the hands of Stacks. It's going to be difficult for them really to find a comfortable engagement if it's not towards Mail or towards Vents. We'll see how concerning that is.
Here.
Bye-bye.
Nerd.
So now we see, is there any potential to this? Pop Flash finds nothing. Stacks is very blind. Hold on, that's a little much from Boaster, but it works out. He does have a couple of players with him, so he wasn't alone. And Fnatic farm up the second round here. No threats really made and no plants in sight.
The Prime Gaming Floors give themselves a cushion here to kick off the second half. Need the response here in round 3 from DRX to keep this one interesting. I would argue if this one goes in favor of Fnatic, it's 11 on the board.
Yep.
And it becomes very, very dicey. You see the pressure starting to weigh
And this was the
on
team.
the faces of DRX.
They were all smiles at the start, Mike.
Yep.
Relaxed, having fun coming into it. I'd love to see them try and get that back on, but it's easier said than done, right? This round so very important. Durka on an island, but it's Leo, the one to deal the killing blow towards Buzz. Take him away from this, and that's a rifle gone.
DRX have to respect this. The possibility that Fnatic in any given round have 4 people to explore mid at the start. Buzz the one to have that reality check this time around. Flash will confirm, but Stacks actually gets the better of Boaster.
And it really is just Stacks kind of being an aggressive towards Heaven, just trying to get all that attention, because, again, look towards where RB is, look to where initially Zest was. It's starting to drift away now, but going late into this setup is never really a good idea.
Because already Leo's here as well.
Exactly. Okay. I don't like this from DRX, but let's see, do they have a plan in mind? Alpha does get all this information, and he's, oh, the paranoia, the timing, very clinical on the clear. But Leo is here, and he does have 2 flashes. He's going to find the fight first, takes down another. Leo wants more. This could be his 3 on the round. It is a triple for Leo. Darker in support, and again, you don't hit this A site late. DRX learning these lessons in the worst way, but it ain't over yet. Marco still alive in a 1v2. Gonna give himself a smoke, but look at it, Leo prowling around! Getting Fnatic up to double digits and dashing DRX's hopes.
That could be the beginning of the end for DRX. Forced back down now to a lighter purchase, if any. Just be SMGs or Sheriffs to come into this one. Leo up to the Seekers already.
Down A.
And it's 60 seconds left. You see them slow creeping around the map, drifting closer and closer towards Vents in Heaven. You're playing into Fnatic's backyard, their stomping ground.
Blinded.
Leo's got those Seekers now ready, whenever he wants them.
Cover going out.
Might be the goal here for DRX. A little bit more simplistic, a little bit more clear cut as Buzz. That's uncomfortable with the judge. There's those Seekers, there's the flash. A Boaster with both! Takes down Zest, RB's gone. And now Marco, yeah, I mean, that gun looked good before, but not against Leo.
Down B.
Oh, it's all coming together for Fnatic now. A flawless round. And DRX are in real trouble.
Saving grace, the Seekers here. Maybe an opportunity for DRX to come out with a bang here in round 17, but I gotta say, this is just, it's textbook from Fnatic. It's the same thing again. It's just so comfortable to watch them play defense here on split.
Gotta say it, Mike, I think we're in agreement. This is the one really, isn't it?
Grenade out.
It's gotta be something now. I'm seeing a 3-play stack having a wander over towards A for Fnatic too.
Looking to actually switch things up now. Just at the point where you think DRX might be learning a thing or two, Fnatic are the ones to adjust. Should find Zest.
Oh, Zest in so much danger. Oh dear.
I've got
Durka
your trail.
controlling one side of the map, and they quickly adjust because you can see the springboard, the attempt wanted, but Boaster on the stall, Paranoia exchanged. Stall comes in, Alpha's about to swing, and he does, catching Buzz in the heels, and it's looking clear cut, it's looking decisive. It's looking like 12's about to be there. This one might be all over as DRX stunned and put down. 12 now, just one away, Mike.
Match point.
DRX will call a timeout in the 11th hour.
One enemy remaining.
And this is the issue really with any sort of scoreline deficit. Fnatic having the opportunity to step onto the second half here on the defense. You have to bring your A game. Like I said, we've seen so many teams fall short or run out of ideas or not even really have any ideas to address the way that Fnatic like to play. And it's so simplistic. It's not just like a second layer. There's 4 different second layers to some of these setups, with Chronicle constantly rotating, being in a position to stun anywhere across the map from vents, set in motion any sort of set piece on the back of DRX showing their hand. And it's heartbreaking to see a map 3 go like this. And that's to even say with how Bind went. Feels like a completely different universe.
It does.
But the resilience on display here by Fnatic to bounce back from such a loss. When we saw the frustration on stage, saw the frustration from Mini as well.
Absolutely. It's rare you can make the Titans look so human. And on map 1, they look very flawed, very human indeed. However, going forward, the recovery has been pretty much insurmountable. I mean, just round after round getting back to their strength. And at 5-12, just one more round for Fnatic and the last chance to dance for DRX here. Can they determine the outcome? Can they change the way this looks? Already aggression being started, and the ult there for Durka.
A big tool at their disposal now. Paranoia to clear through Heaven, but already with proactivity into Garage. Not necessarily a concern right here for Fnatic. Durka going to get contact here on Buzz, yep. Little spot out. Actually catches Leo's flash. But DRX have to have a response to address this. Zest still trying to lurk up into ramps.
It's not going to work. He knows the camera's there. It's been pinged out.
Yeah, another situation. 60 seconds left on the clock here. And DRX are shift walking around to try and split A. They have to deal with the camera now. There's already a preemptive rotation come through. Leo's here. Chronicle's ready to reinforce this A site hold.
And the spike's coming this way, so it does look like it's an A end at 40 seconds. I can't really see them walking away from this. And yes, they've got a little bit of space. Yes, they've got a little bit of control. But, I mean, Fnatic are just allowing it to happen, really, if anything. Smoke going in towards CT. And it's Chronicle to find Zest. Down to 4 now. This might be the whimper they're going out with, but it looks like a quick rotation.
20
a
seconds.
last-ditch attempt. Nothing can deny this. Nothing can stop it. And actually, Durka falls. Now, can Chronicle slow this down? The last across will be the one with the spike. Oh, dear. Marco has to TP away. Quick defense. They got to try and protect him. Allow the plant to go through and give him an opportunity. A 4v4 post-plant. Life on the line for DRX. And Fnatic have their chance.
Cam will go through. I don't think it will confirm any information. Potentially that there's one on default. Paranoia should set things in motion here.
Stax is out of it for the next couple of seconds. TP on the side. Hello and goodbye. Marco still surviving, still standing, but finally falls, goes down. Great swing from RB, times it well. Stax now has his vision back. He's got RB in unison, and Buzz's position is everything. They've holding on for another. But that was a 20 seconds mad dash throughout the map.
Yeah, DRX get the 6th on the board, but it's hard to really justify saying that you get 7 opportunities like that, especially in the late round. Even questions about the purchase coming back into this, a judge in hand for Buzz, one away from the showstopper, one away from the lockdown for RB as well. How far can DRX take this? If anywhere. Showstopper on the other side for Durka as well. One off the Rolling Thunder, one from the Seekers. So plenty of tools available for Fnatic.
Yeah, certainly not out of the woods at all for DRX. It was a moment of respite, if anything. You've got to find succession to it. More of these rounds will be needed if they want to try and bring this back to something that threatens Fnatic, who sit at 12. At the cusp of booking their ticket into the arena, Boaster, the one to be challenged initially. You can see Buzz waiting, biding his time, but the TP gets taken, and Boaster going to take the scalp. Fnatic now in unison, starting to get that fight like grip on the go, and it's down to just 2. Make it 1. Stax has to just stand and accept his fate. Yes, Fnatic proven to be human. They do indeed bleed. But DRX were not enough to deal the fatal blow.
And heartbreak for DRX here. To go out like this. Once again, a 2-1 scoreline at a Champions event versus Fnatic. But what a recovery. With how things started here, a total sucker punch, almost blindsided by the approach from DRX on Bind. That resilience, that championship resilience that we've all grown to understand across 2023 on full display here.
DRX, that map 1 could be one of the most valuable maps we've seen. No one has ever put Fnatic in that position before. They're going to have their heads held high here. A challenging matchup for Fnatic, and again, not many players, not many teams would want to face Fnatic in the lowers. They had to work through that, and on the other side, Fnatic, again, forced to have to adjust on the fly, forced to come up with new plans and keep their cool, keep their head about themselves.
And respect shown on the stage as well. You make Fnatic bleed, as you said. You have to tip your hat to DRX today. But it's hard to really deny the standard, the class on display from these guys. Time and time again. They continue a lower bracket run, by the way. Something I didn't think we would be saying here in Los Angeles.
No, you and me both. And yeah, good to see Fnatic back in that sort of form again, showing that little bit of depth at the end. They're pushed to that capability. And it has been a long road, it feels like, for them as well. Kind of a couple more tests than maybe expected. I think through regular season and a couple of the other moments, we've seen them at that full capacity. But here we are seeing the best quality coming out from all the other teams too.
Yeah, as they come down to meet all the fans here in the Shrine today.
I'm pretty sure it's just their own team.
I see Kamek down there.
Kamek's down there. But yeah, I mean, it almost feels a bit of a shame to not have, obviously, fans here with us to be able to see this matchup. And the one prior, some historic moments already going down. And it is one of those like heart-wrenching moments again for DRX, because every single time, yes, they get holded here, but you couldn't blame them for falling to Fnatic.
I feel like we always get to this point with DRX, and that's what's so heartbreaking, because you almost just think by the laws of probability, we'll get one. We'll get one that goes through. This time, it's not for them. Yeah. Again, take nothing away from the performance. Marco today, not just today, but ever the superstar.
I mean, this is the first time he's walked back out on that stage after being, you know, obviously not with the boys throughout some of their games. And Marco, truly magnificent to watch. Genuinely game-changing at times, really a master.
And do you know what, credit beyond that as well, Termi, a coach who's come under fire a number of times in terms of, you know, how rigid DRX have been, to come out today and actually demonstrate such an approach versus a team like Fnatic and execute it perfectly. Credit where credit's due.
And I'd love to see them explore that more. If they can get potentially that look of, you know, that hot and cold, that passive, that aggressive. But really what it boils down to is that Fnatic managed to survive, but what a test they had.
And I am joined here on the stage with Fnatic's Alfajer. Alfajer, first of all, congratulations. A heck of a series, a 2-1 victory over DRX. Now, first of all, I kind of want to get started here today with talking about your rifling. You've been one of the best riflers, not just in this event, but in the world throughout the entirety of this year. What's changed for you this year? It seems like your play has leveled up tremendously.
I think like this team is like really good on this year. He gives me confidence in the game. So I'm just like hard working in this game, like all the time before the sleep in 20 deathmatch, 10 deathmatch. Like it's make me happy a lot.
Lots of deathmatch. Got it. Good, good. All right, so Next up, I want to talk about the start of this series. DRX, you know, took your map pick away from you, bind 1-13, but then you guys come back with a really strong Haven, then an even stronger Split. How did that come about? Like, what was the communication like behind after the first match?
Like, we lost, but I think our bind is not like bad. I think we lost because of we missed the communication again. Like, sometimes it's happening to our team. Like, we fixed it on second and third map. That's why we win, actually.
Yeah, no doubt. You guys did great. So next up, I want to talk about your lurks. So particularly on Haven and on the attacker side of Split, you have really good lurks that are really impactful in the rounds. Are those kind of your decisions? Is Boaster making those calls? Is it sort of like a combination of the two?
Like, I can say 80% I'm choosing but 20% I'm listening to Boaster and Mine. Yeah.
Just listening to their calls.
Yeah.
Got it. All right, great. And final question here. We've got a rematch coming up, you versus Loud, a rematch of the lock-in grand finals. It'll be on Thursday at the Kia Forum. What can we expect in that matchup?
Like, we expect Loud is gonna come. I mean, we expect they're gonna win against DRX. I think we want revenge from them, and we are hungry this time. And yeah, let's see on 24.
Hell yeah. All right, well, good luck, brother. Great game today. Thank you again for joining me. Loud is going to be facing Fnatic on Thursday in the Kia Forum. You guys don't want to miss it. We're going to throw it on back over to you.
Oh, you don't want to miss that indeed. But first, let's talk about Fnatic and Split as well. They managed to stay alive there. I think at the half, we were both talking about how crucial that pistol was going to be for DRX. But in the end, Mimi, it was a bit of a masterclass from Fnatic.
Yeah, I mean, this is a confident win. Barely dropping any rounds into that second half here for Fnatic. It's just a really well-called defensive side. I think the way that they play around Alfajer's utility when he's on this Cypher is excellent. Varying up these cam setups, setting up these trap plays, and for DRX, it really seemed like they were out of it after that snowball started in favor of Fnatic. It really felt like there was just a tipping point where it was going back to the old DRX mistakes that we've seen many times before, and those kind of things just will not be allowed to slip by a team like Fnatic.
Absolutely not. And I think, you know, for Fnatic, they got the win here today. It was very shaky at the beginning. You know, there's a bit tenuous in terms of them dropping that first map, but, you know, Alpha's putting that down to, you know, some communication issues that you might be able to fix. But I do think as well it adds in a little bit of an element almost for Fnatic in this lower bracket run that they're going on. It makes it a little bit harder for them. They don't really have as deep as a map pool. I was bringing it up at the beginning. Now you can kind of add bind into the mix almost, so that it's there. Adds a bit more questionable, but you cannot deny the talent that this team has when they actually do bring it together that we saw on Split. And they have set us up for a fantastic rematch.
Yeah. The rematch is going to be excellent, but I think once we get to those best of fives, if Fnatic can get to that point and beat Loud, that's where things start to get interesting, because do they have a big enough pool to compete in those kind of deep BO5s against the top teams? If they make it all the way to the grand finals, they're facing a double ban advantage. There's no guarantee of Fnatic winning this one, like I think a lot of people could have thought at the beginning of Champions.
Yeah, it makes it more exciting this way,
does.
I feel like. I mean, back at Lock-in, I feel like Leo, everybody said that he was the MVP. He did super well. Tokyo, Alpha kind of took over, and coming into this tournament, he's been a little bit hot and cold, but today, Mimi, it was just hot, scorching hot.
Bro, 5.4 KD on the final map. That's not normally the stat you look at, but that is absurd. He's just so good. He wins every clutch situation. His utility is excellent, especially when he plays on this Skybran.
Yeah, I think that Leo is, you know, he was my #1 player, I think, on my list. As much as, you know, I've been scolded for Alfia being out of top 20. I don't know how I will repent for those sins, but I will find a way. I'll make it up to you, Turkey. I swear to God. Like, we'll find a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. But Leo was my #1 player coming into this event, and I think he's proving it with just the consistency that he plays at. The util timings is all there. Mechanically, the guy is a superstar player.
Oh yeah, when the pressure is on, I feel like he thrives even more in those situations. But sadly, we have to say goodbye to DRX. I feel like coming into this one, expectations were fairly low, Brent, and I would say that they exceeded a lot of people's expectations by making it this far.
Yeah, I think they did everything right heading into this series as well. And they did, you know, kind of exceed some expectations after they got flattened in the upper bracket and brought down here today. But it is sad to see them go as well, because it's a team that's still been hunting for that breakthrough performance. Yes, they got it last year at Champs and, you know, beat their own objective of that 5-6 placement, but they they haven't really gone further than that. And now there's going to be a lot of questions as they look forward into the off-season and beyond as to what direction this team really wants to get taken into, because they've had these identity problems in terms of knowing who they want to run as 5 as well. It's been a talk of the town. I've been absolutely losing hair and molding from it over and over again. But I am curious to see, and I guess we'll have to wait and see as well in terms of what direction the whole team goes into.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions next year, especially because they are competing in the Pacific League. We have a Paper X who's already in the upper finals. For DRX, their era of dominance is being the #1 Asian team always. That has long since ended, but they are still a top team, and I think they defied the expectations that got set for them after Tokyo here at Champions. I think to recap all the way back to the group stage, we had this question: is Group D the group of death, the group of disappointment? I think it was the group of death. All of those teams really stepped up. We have a loud back and form. We have DRX here, who took a map off of Fnatic, who was playing really quite well in this lower bracket. I think there are a lot of good things to take away for DRX, but it's still a long off-season, and who knows what's to come.
Yeah, we've had to say goodbye to DRX and EDG as well earlier today. It's time for our HyperX Reflex moment of the day, and it does go to EDG's Smoggy's 4K. Honestly, this map and this entire series was just a treat.
Yeah, what a disgusting play from Smoggy. He had a bit of a hit or miss performance when he's playing onto the Raze as well, but my God, did he make it close against Loud. I mean, it's just barely not able to get it over the finish line into this series. Could have been looking at a different outcome with the match that we got later on. I'm still not complaining though. Listen, Fnatic and Loud as a matchup, that is going to be unbelievable, honestly. But I am still sad to see EDG go.
Kankan could not believe what he saw there. They're just such a likable team. Gonna miss having them in that final stage of this tournament, but still a great run from EDG and a great step up from Smoggy.
Yeah, it is indeed. And we've lost a lot of teams on the way here to make top 4. Like I said, we just have 4 left, you guys. Take a look at the champions bracket here. Of course, we're going to take a couple of days off. Then we're going to move the show to an even bigger venue. The Kia Forum will be there for our final 3 days of competition. Look at that. The final matchups
are ridiculous. Paper X versus EG is going to be great. First of all, we got to see this match in Tokyo. EG barely won. That's when Paper X had a sub. They have something now. EG looks in better form than they did in that tournament. And then we also get this ridiculous rematch of the lock-in finals.
Yeah, and it's all going to be set up as well. I mean, just honestly, you could get so much quality Valorant from any of the matches that we've got coming up now. I can't wait at all.
And also in the Kia Forum in front of a bigger crowd. We missed having everyone here today, of course, but in that venue, I'm sure it is going to be electric.
Yeah, I cannot wait because we're going to be back on August 24th. So make sure you join us back here. But that does it for us here. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in and also coming out to the Shrine as well for the last 2 weeks. We'll see you this Thursday at our new venue. And before we go, check out these Prime Gaming end of day highlights, and we'll see you soon. This is for a shot at that top 4 for Loud, a chance to defend their title, but for EDG it will be uncharted territory. But both teams didn't fight and claw their way just for their journey to end here.
You see that Lear come through the wall from Hookah, getting the first, but Les gets the best of him, 13 seconds left, and it all falls on to Chichu. He gets the first, the second is there! Exact spot, but
one way at the corner.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, he
just disrespects it, bro. One way subsides. It's a no-scope. There are 2 of them. And of course, it's Kong Kong. Who else? Oh, dire strangers. Kawanzin drops. Taodong. The rotations are coming through. Kawanzin, 15 HP. Sunk into the soil of the site. Kawanzin with 4. Kawanzin pull it off. Yes, he can. The ace for Loud. Sending a shiver down their spine. There's the swing out. Smoggy getting the best of Les. Loud in a position to take us to OT. And they've got Aspas and Kawanzin corralled. There's nowhere for them to go.
Oh my goodness. What a map from EDG. I can't believe it.
The push, and it's not going to be by utility, it's going to be by the Odin. Kong Kong already dropped, looking for the swing on the second. He's flashed, he's dead. And Kawanzin's already gotten to 3rd. This spam is just so oppressive, Sean.
They didn't break the darts. They didn't break the darts.
And that very well could be their demise. Aspas is here as well. He's going for the 3rd. The shorty connects, but Haodong punches back. Les, 1v2. Oh, and they didn't double swing. They didn't double swing at all, but it's okay. And there are a lot of members weak on the side of Loud, but the crossfire setup that they have is just so devastating. Even if you drop a couple, there are layers to Loud setup. Loud dominate EDG on their map pick and take us to Haven. EDG looking to get the spike down and should succeed as Concon gets another. What? That's all of them. That's a 4K for the Star. That flash should have hit everyone. I mean, it should just be open season on members of EDG, and that's exactly what it is. Tui's gets the third. Concon, Smoggy getting it to half, and there it is. He found the timing.
Oh no!
Aspas, can he do it? Dashes forward. Oh my gosh! Aspas, the Red Bull clutch! No paranoia, just the flash. Oh my gosh,
Smoggy!
nobody on the counter. Les still playing from far back. Sonic still with the pit up. All of the onus on EDG right now as Kawazine has gotten 3. Howdong on the flank, and there's nothing found. Loud defend the throne. They take down EDG in the rematch and advance.
DRX, they were the ones to send Fnatic home back at Champs 2022, but this is the EMEA super team. They built this roster precisely to defy expectations in moments like these.
And how long does he wait? How patient is this?
Oh.
And it's connected. He knows the flash connected, but he's done everything! Everything you could ask for. Gives Alpha the haircut. He slips away. Pop flash and pop on through. Zest and Stacks. Look at this aggression from DRX.
Let's go! This
Oh, this
could be devastating.
Oh, not again! Stacks! This is madness! And now he gets started toying with him, teasing, and he gets him! History is being rewritten today with a scoreline like that. 13-1. DRX besting Fnatic on map 1. Again, critical value, and it's all on Leo. Back of the side, backbone of the team! This is nice. There we go. There's that combination you want to be seeing as well. Bringing it back down to at least touching distance here. Oh, Alpha doesn't want any of it. They finally got a grip. Just slipping ahead. Stacks, though. Thought he got a bit of timing there on Leo. He didn't. And no one got the drop on Durka.
Nice. Nope.
This game deserved a third, and we are going the distance. And this time it's a back and forth between all of them, and it's just a straight up stand and deliver, and Stacks does. Diffuse denied. Stacks can't do it. Leo holding it together for Fnatic. Still standing, double swing happens. Marco, the magician again, pulling.
What?
Just a rabbit out of his hat, but it's still down to the 1v1. Can he find it for the ace? Can he find Boaster? Doesn't see him for the first, the second. Boaster's got him.
Oh my God.
Fnatic keep moving forward. This round so very important. Durka on an island, but it's Leo. He's going to find the fight first. Takes down another. Leo once more. This could be his 3 on the round. It is a triple for Leo. Going to give himself the smoke, but look at it. Leo prowling around. Dashing DRX's hopes.
Bro, my game is lagging so much. Oh my goodness.
Yes, Fnatic proven to be human. That they do indeed bleed. But DRX were not enough to deal the fatal blow.
And heartbreak for DRX here to go out like this. Once again, a 2-1 scoreline at a Champions event versus Fnatic.